Well, hey everyone, and welcome to Get Your Geek On's Marvel Cinematic Universe Retrospective. I'm Robert, that's Aaron, and we're here to talk movie by movie through the MCU's Infinity Saga, 23 movies over 11 years.
Expect spoilers as we get into each movie, but we will start off each video by letting you know whether we consider this an essential movie for the overall arc of the MCU. Think of this as your guide into getting into the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a couple of filler movies, although if you're a completionist like we are, then you might rate them all essential. So, let's get into it. Captain America Civil War 2016. This movie kicked off Phase 3. Many consider it Avengers 2.5. The third movie in the Captain America franchise made $179 million opening weekend, $1.1 billion over its run. We saw the return of the Russo brothers alongside basically all of the Avengers minus Hulk and Thor. And we also get introductions to Black Panther, played by Chadwick Boseman, and Tom Holland's version of Peter Parker, Spider-Man. We also get our villain Zemo in the form of Daniel Bruhl. So, Aaron, is this movie essential?
I think yes, because there's a lot going on, but it helps develop everybody.
Yeah.
It tells you everything.
It's very important. I mean, obviously, the plot of this movie is packed. There's so much that happens. But this is the movie that splits apart the Avengers, which plays a major role in Avengers 3 and 4 because the team isn't together anymore.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, this is 100% essential if you're going through trying to figure out, which movies to watch.
This one.
You got to watch this one for sure. All right. So, what do you remember about when this movie was coming out in 2016? We're coming off of Avengers Age of Ultron and Ant-Man.
Yes.
Right? And this is the next movie coming out. So, what do you remember about the hype?
I remember for comic book fans, we were hyped. So I don't know if you can see in the back of behind me, that's the Civil War poster from the comic books. So I was hyped up when I heard Civil War. I was like, ooh, how are we going to do this?
Well, they had our fake out of, Captain America's Serpent Society. Remember that?
I was like, really?
And then they were like, no, it's Civil War.
And then at first, before I remember the hype being high because at first it was supposed to be more Black Panther choosing what side is he going to be on. And I remember the panel at, what was it? At San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
It was, I forgot the actor's name, the Black Panther guy.
Chadwick Boseman.
And he had Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and he's like, I don't know. Then, we got a contract with Sony. Now we can bring Spider-Man in instead.
Yeah. And
then it became a whole thing with Spider-Man involved with all of it. And I thought that was amazing that in the comics he's a huge part. And this one, not so much, but it gave us our introduction now to Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, this was obviously, this is one of Marvel Comics' biggest Captain America storylines, and just one of the biggest storylines in general. Civil War. It's hero versus hero.
Yeah.
And so to see that on the big screen with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, Iron Man and Captain America, kind of the two main pieces of the Avengers, if you will. Captain America's kind of the leader. Iron Man's the tech guy that gives him everything. And you saw this conflict start to come even as early as the first Avengers movie, but then definitely in the second Avengers movie.
Oh yeah.
You're seeing it build. You're seeing that they just have different philosophies about what it means to be a hero.
Yeah.
And it really does come to a head in this movie as you have Iron Man having the weight of consequences put on him and not really being able to deal with that. He doesn't want to.
No.
But yes, going into this movie, I mean, I was super hyped. I love, obviously, the MCU. I love Captain America. I was super excited for a new Spider-Man. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Andrew Garfield version. And the first two Tobey Maguire movies I thought were pretty good.
They were.
But certainly the third one was not good. And I remember the previews for this movie. It looked like Spider-Man looked right.
He did.
Black Panther looked awesome.
He did.
I was so ready for this movie. What about you personally? I mean,
I was hyped up for it, especially they did show a couple of scenes in the trailers where you had the sides and they were running. So we knew there was going to be this huge battle. Like, it wasn't just something off camera. It was like, no, you're going to get a fight between Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Scarlet Witch, everybody.
Yeah.
The entire, like you said, the entire Avengers team is there and then some.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember seeing those trailers and they had me hyped up.
Yeah.
You know, I was always worried how they were going to play Civil War because it's the way the comics are, of course. But in the end, we got such an amazing movie, and it hit on everything. It hit, sadness. It hit on happiness to me with not like so much love, but that you could see the brotherly love between Bucky and Captain, and then that sister love from Black Widow to Captain America himself.
Yeah.
I never thought they were going to get together, no matter what.
No,
I never saw that coming. But when I saw it more of developing like a brother sister kind of thing, I love that dynamic, and they fit so well as actors and characters in the films. I was so happy to see that the love you have with Black Panther and his father, and just everything's in this film. And then you got the logic side. You got Captain Iron Man, and now he's not General Ross anymore, but you have Secretary Ross.
Yeah, Secretary Ross.
And how they are here's where everything is. Here's where the government sits, and you have that government overlord almost.
So let's get into the plot, and it's packed. So bear with me here, right?
I got one.
So So we got an international incident that leaves the Avengers basically on the wrong side of public opinion, right? And the United Nations decides to enact the Sokovia Accords to run oversight on the team, and it divides the Avengers, leaving Cap, Falcon, and Wanda on one side. We got Tony, Natasha, Rhodey, and Vision on the other. At the signing of the Accords, the United Nations building is bombed, killing the Wakandan king T'Chaka, and his son T'Challa, who is the Black Panther, vows revenge and hunts down the man believed responsible, Cap's old friend Bucky, aka the Winter Soldier. Cap goes to bring him in, fearing that he's the only one that can do it safely. But because he didn't sign the Accords, he and Falcon are arrested along with Bucky, and Bucky is then reactivated by Helmut Zemo, breaks out of prison, attacking several people along the way. Cap eventually is able to subdue him, and he and Falcon learn that Bucky was framed. Zemo wanted to learn about a specific 1991 mission in which the Winter Soldier retrieved some super soldier formula that Hydra used to create additional super assassins. And the Avengers battle amongst themselves now. Cap and Bucky escape and follow Zemo to Siberia, and meanwhile, Rhodey takes a critical hit and is possibly paralyzed. Dun, dun, dun. Tony then discovers that Bucky was framed for the UN bombing and realizes that Cap has been telling the truth the whole time. He goes to Siberia to help, but there Zemo's true purpose is revealed. He wants the Avengers to destroy themselves, and he plays footage from that 1991 mission where it's revealed that Tony's parents were murdered by Bucky. Enraged, Tony tries to kill Bucky, but Cap intervenes and eventually does overpower Tony, but he leaves his shield behind, and Black Panther apprehends Zemo for his crimes, and the movie ends as Cap busts Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Falcon, and Wanda out of prison. All right. That's a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot here, like you said. There really, really is.
Yeah, the movie's packed. There's a ton going on. I really like most of it, if not all of it. Mm-hmm. It does feel a little bit overstuffed at times, but overall, the movie's really, really good.
Yeah.
So really what stands out to you? What are some of your favorite scenes, favorite performances? Talk to me about it.
I think, and he's kind of underrated, and I don't even think, we're never going to see him again. Crossbones. He's actually in this one, and we saw him in, what was it, Captain America 2?
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
Did we see him in the first Cap? No, right?
No,
we don't see him anywhere else.
Yeah, it's just those two movies.
So
he's in Winter Soldier and then this one.
He fights Captain America in the second film.
Yep.
Gets his ass kicked, let's face it. Doesn't he?
I don't know that he ever... Well, he fights him in the elevator. Yeah, he fights him in the elevator.
So he gets beaten up. And then he comes back for revenge because, like he says, Captain dropped a building on him. And we see him now disfigured, hurt.
Dropped a building on a lot of people.
Yeah, he did. He dropped a lot of things on a lot of people in the second film. Not just buildings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, I think the way he came off in this film, he blames Captain America for everything.
Mm-hmm.
For the way he looks now because he's disfigured.
Yep.
To basically having to do these side missions where he's a terrorist now.
Yep.
He pretty much blames him because he thought Hydra was right. And he believed in Hydra at this point, which we all know they're terrorists, but I kind of like that he hated Captain America. It was hatred. Who else would strap a dead man switch to themselves to try to kill him? And that, to me, that sold it to me. I was like, you know what? I like where he came from.
Yeah, that opening scene where they're, chasing down Crossbones' team. You see the new Avengers dynamic.
Yes.
You know, so you see Falcon and Wanda as part of the Avengers, which we hadn't really seen before. It's not explained why Rhodey and Vision aren't there.
No.
Because they're supposed to be part of the Avengers too. So
yeah.
I don't know where they were at. Off doing some other mission. Maybe we'll get something some other time. But yeah, that's really cool. I mean, obviously, I think the action overall in this movie, there's several chase scenes. There's that one. There's the chase scene with Winter Soldier in, I think, Bucharest. There's, the action scene of Bucky breaking out of the prison and all of that stuff. Obviously, there's the big airport scene, which we will get to, as well as the action at the end of the movie. You know, that 3-man fight between Captain America, Iron Man, and Winter Soldier. And it's all really, really good.
It is.
I think the action is definitely something that stands out.
It really is. I really think it's some of the best action in any Marvel movie up to this point, actually.
Yeah. I want to talk just briefly. We touched on him already a little bit, but I want to talk about Black Panther because that, to me, is like the best introduction of any character pretty much in a movie that's not their own.
Yeah.
Like in the MCU, I think.
I agree with you.
His character introduction, finding out about him, you get the humanity side of him first where he's, talking with his dad, and then you can see his rage and how he's, he's just going to hunt down and kill the Winter Soldier, all the way up to, he doesn't care when he's fighting Clint, like that's a great line where he's, we haven't met yet. I'm Clint. I don't care, right? Because all he wants is he wants to get revenge. He wants to get the Winter Soldier. To that final moment of his performance where he says, they're being consumed by vengeance. Yeah. I'm done being consumed. I'm done letting it consume me. And like it's such a great growth moment.
That dialogue is amazing at the end. Like as much as I like the fight scene, I liked it because this villain had his endpoint. He was like, okay, I'm done. He was ready to blow his own head off.
I love that.
I was like, we don't have a villain that's like, okay, mission complete. And he was ready.
And I love that Black Panther stops the bullet and says, the living are not done with you yet. Like, you're not getting off that easy.
I loved it.
So good. Yeah.
I think that was one of my favorite parts because that's, to me, I've said before in other videos, and I think I left them in, I like these dark tones. And to me, that's a villain who's about to commit suicide. Like, that's crazy. We've only heard about it in Avengers 1 where Banner says, I put a bullet in my mouth and the big guy spits it out. Right. Or the other guy spits it out. And it's like, okay, we're going to that little bit darker tone. Yep. So I can't wait to see.
I mean, he's lost everything. He lost his family. He lost his home. Yeah. Like, again, this is a villain with, motivations that we don't often see in the MCU. A lot of the villains up to this point are just, kind of evil for evil's sake. Yeah. Like there's not really a reason that Obadiah Stane is evil. There's not really a reason that Justin Hammer is evil, or like the reasons are kind of flimsy. The Dark Elves because they want to bring darkness.
Okay, yeah.
So you have this real world motivation of this guy who, he's hurting, he's in pain, and he just wants to hurt people back that have done this to him, or at least
the ones that hurt him too.
In his mind, it's their fault.
Exactly, and I think that's why I like him. He is a relatable villain. Like. If someone else had the money, we could all go that route.
Well, and I do wonder as well, and this brings up a point that I don't think has ever been truly addressed, is how much does the world know about the Avengers' role in Age of Ultron? How much does the world know that Tony Stark is the one that unleashed Ultron on the world? Like, is that something that's public knowledge, or that's something we know because we watched the movie? And so I kind of, because it almost doesn't really make sense that he would hate the Avengers if he doesn't know that it was Ultron. Yeah. Like, that was their creation. But at the same time, I'm okay with it.
See, and I'm okay with it. I can give it to this, the one-liner that's thrown away. Because Ultron came out, was it before or after? It was after Captain America or Winter Soldier. Yeah. And there is a throwaway line almost in the beginning where we see Baron Zemo talk, or I say Baron because he's the comics, he's the Baron. Helmut Zemo. Talking to the Hydra 8 lieutenant or whatever, and he says the Black Widow released all the SHIELD files. So maybe SHIELD had a file on it somewhere that said, because they document everything. They're SHIELD. They know everything.
But that was before Winter Soldier was before Age of Ultron too. So that wouldn't have been
Well, if it's before Age of Ultron.
No, Winter Soldier is when she released the secrets.
Okay.
So then Age of Ultron would have happened. So those secrets wouldn't have necessarily been released.
Oh, okay, that's true. Right. Because yeah, then the Helicarrier comes. Oh, okay, well that's true then. So, that would destroy that. But comics.
Exactly. The other thing that I really want to talk about is specifically, I think that there's a lot of actors in the MCU that give great performances consistently.
Yeah.
But this movie in particular, I think, is Robert Downey Jr.'s best performance.
Oh God, yeah. That was so Iron Man.
Again, from the opening of, kind of reliving the last conversation he had with his parents.
Yeah.
Up to, realizing that he's no longer with Pepper because he was obsessive about being Iron Man and couldn't stop. To, just trying to keep the Avengers together in any way he can.
Yeah.
And then that final moment, and it's my favorite moment of acting that he has in any MCU movie, is when he asks Cap, "Did you know?"
Yeah.
And Cap kind of hesitates, and he's like, "Well,
did you know?"
Yeah. And when Cap finally says yes, and it's just that little like.
Yeah, that look. That's the look every movie would give too.
Okay, that's okay, and he just and he goes off, right?
Yeah.
And it's another one of those things where obviously in an upcoming movie we'll talk about it. Star-Lord gets flack for kind of his emotional response. Tony Stark absolutely.
He starts it.
I mean, he has a major emotional response, and you would too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just found out that somebody murdered your parents, like you thought they died in a car crash.
Yeah.
Now you just found out that they were murdered, and it's your best friend's best friend. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have an emotional response to that. It makes sense. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Basically, talked almost about this whole movie.
Yeah.
The one scene we haven't talked about that we have to talk about.
Oh God, yeah.
Is the airport scene.
Yes.
Just like everything in that scene, whether it's all the different quips from Spider-Man. Spider-Man being Spider-Man. He's
perfect Spider-Man.
Like as he's fighting Falcon, and I don't know if you've ever been in a fight, but there's usually not this much talking. Like he's just because that's Spider-Man. He's just, oh man, is that a metal arm? That's so cool.
And I love that. That was our first introduction to his super strength. Everyone else is like flying back when they get hit. He's like, man, he's turning the arm too. It's not Bucky turning it. He's, oh wow, yeah, metal arm.
And
like
he's commenting on the shield. That thing doesn't explain a lot. It doesn't follow the laws of physics.
I'm so glad they called that out
he's
too.
Talking about Falcon's wings, like those are titanium alloy, like that's it's all Peter Parker. Like it's really good stuff. And then of course you've got the different dynamics and the different battles going on between different characters, whether it's Hawkeye and Natasha, or you've got Falcon and Winter Soldier with their whole kind of rivalry where they both want to be Cap's best friend.
You couldn't have done that any sooner.
Right. And of course Ant-Man,
yes, finally becoming Giant Man for the first time.
Awesome. And then we get the, like, you've seen that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back.
How old is this kid, Tony? I love it. I love it, man. Like this whole fight scene, I think it shows everybody's strengths. Like, we see our introduction to Hawkeye again after he's retired.
Yeah.
What happened to retirement? Oh, played golf, shot 18, hit 18, or what is it?
Yeah,
like
played 18.
Yeah. And then he shoots Tony. Oh, you missed. That was just a distraction. And then everything else. So I love that we got his little one-liner stuff and show where he's at. Then you get Scarlet Witch saying like you granted me to my room, right, or something. Or you told Vision. Yeah. And then we get Black Widow, who always is never. You never know what side she's on. Right. And I do like that they played that well in this movie. She's like on Cap's side, but she's like, Tony's right. Oh God, Tony's right. And then it's like, I don't want to be on Tony's side.
Yeah, and you can tell that she personally she personally is a much bigger fan of Captain America than she is of Iron.
Oh yeah.
She likes Steve way better than she likes Tony. But philosophically, in that moment, she makes the choice that this is the only way to keep the team together.
Yes.
If we don't sign this, we're not going to be able to be. And that's her family.
Yeah.
And that really comes through in later movies. But the Avengers are her family, so she's doing whatever she can to keep her family together.
Exactly.
And and then when she kind of comes to that realization, and we don't know exactly at what point she decided to, join Cap's side or let him go. But it's earned. It makes sense. You understand why.
I love her comment though. I said I help you find him. Never said I help you catch him. And she's shooting Black Panther with those like tasers, and I was like, that's the Natasha thing. You know, everybody shined in this one, and then you got, like you said, Ant Man, who becomes Giant Man at that point, and I was just like, oh yeah, Tony, you're pissed. You broke my roadie, and I think that scene is what sells this movie. That airport scene, you get the Queens, Brooklyn, the whole fight between Spider-Man and Captain America, where Tony told me to, or he told me to go for your legs, and boom. But again, it's something I've always said in the movies, and I've touched on it a little bit in the past. I don't like his power set for Cap. I don't like it. Oh, come on. The whole part with the helicopter flying off. Let me show my bicep. Yeah, look at his bicep. Yeah. Uh-huh. No, he can't. He can't.
Yeah. No, I mean, they obviously, and I will say it's consistent. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
America
It is.
always in the movies has that power.
Yeah.
It's not like
it doesn't fluctuate.
No, he's overpowered compared to his comics version.
Yes.
Okay.
But we all know Tony's Iron Man was right in this film,
so it's okay. 100% disagree.
I'm on Team Iron Man for this one, man.
Oversight. I'm an American.
I went with him in the comics until he betrayed Spidey.
Civil War. So, all right. Well, we've talked a ton about this movie.
Yeah.
So, in terms of where it fits into the overall Infinity Saga, in terms of plot,
yeah,
it doesn't do much other than split the Avengers team.
Right.
There aren't any Infinity Stones or gems or anything like that. But in terms of character development and certainly where the characters are at by the end of this movie, it's very important to the
It is. It is, because then you understand why certain ones are here, certain ones are here. Why, like with Wanda and Vision, they're not even in the same country anymore. They're not in America, I don't think, at that point. I think they're like in France or Germany, right? I think when they're hiding out. In Avengers.
The next time we see them, yes, they are. It's Scotland.
Is it Scotland? Okay. And it's even then, it's like it seems like Scarlet Witch knows where Cap and everybody is, and Vision is okay with her being like the rebel because he's still helping Iron Man. And it's like, okay, you're gonna go do your rebellious thing. I gotta follow the government because I think he's right. So I think it did help set where everybody was at.
Yeah, well, and I think even by the end of the movie, you have people that might be questioning their choices a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you've got Rhodey and Iron Man have that conversation at the end of the movie where it's kind of saying like, I signed it because I believed it. And so he does still, but he took the consequences of that. You have Vision going, it's catastrophe, just like I said. That whole thing. So, man, by the time we catch up with these characters again, obviously a lot's happened. But this movie, I think, sets the stage for a lot. Now, we have been doing these movies in build up to Black Widow coming out. Still very excited about that.
Yes.
And that movie is actually going to take place in kind of post the events of this movie.
Yes.
Where we know that, Black Widow betrays Iron Man, and so she's now on the run from the Sokovia Accords as well.
Right.
And there's a time period in there before she meets up with Captain America, and they form their own mini team that we see then at Avengers Infinity War, where that Black Widow movie is going to take place. So I'm really excited for that as well. I love this movie, so give me your final thoughts on this movie. Likes, dislikes that we maybe haven't touched on or already. Just hit me with your rating.
So I mean, I do like all the action. I think you're right. Everything about the action is perfect. I think the story itself is amazing. The dynamic between Tony and Iron Man, or Tony and Cap, I mean, where like the scenes where they're just talking, like the pen scene.
Yeah,
that was a good scene. It was a good analogy. I thought everything. The Russo brothers from start to finish planned this out perfectly. I think everything was good. Everyone's, like you said, everyone's performance is amazing. So overall, I think we touched everything I liked about it. Dislikes, I mean, there's not a lot to dislike for me about this movie. I mean, the graphics are great. Seeing Giant Man become Giant Man the first time. The whole airport scene was cool, I thought. The chase scenes, everything is just good. It's start to finish, you get a good movie, a good solid movie. So overall, I would still give it. I'd give it an 8.5. as my rating for the movie, and not just because again, I think the plot's kind of weak sometimes, and there are parts like I feel that do drag out a little bit that maybe they could have moved around, and overall, I really feel the way they portrayed originally how Black Panther and Spider-Man were supposed to be in this film, it never went that route. Because again, it felt like there was supposed to be a struggle for Black Panther. Then it got rewrote because of Spider-Man, but there was no struggle for Spider-Man either. He was Tony. Tony is right.
I think that to that point, they kind of pitted Black Panther as at the center, and I think that whether there were rewrites or not, eventually it became he was the pivot character. He was not so much Black Widow, even though she was the one that in the airport scene did that. But by the end of this movie, Black Panther is clearly on Captain America's side. He's letting the Winter Soldier come to Wakanda so that they can
fix him.
Help. Because that's another person that he, if I can help him find peace, then I want to do that. So overall, for me, this movie, I do agree with you. There's some plot conveniences that I'm not the hugest fan of. I think there are some characters that get underserved in this movie, whether it be
Ant-Man.
Well, I think Vision for me is the one that most stands out.
He really does.
Is that like they start to give you some of that Vision and Wanda relationship, and you start to understand. And I really like what they give you with Wanda, but I think Vision, and that's a tough character to do.
It is.
But I also feel like we could have seen maybe one more scene of him, one more kind of where his humanity was starting to come through. I think I would have appreciated it.
That would have been nice.
But overall, I really like this movie. I think that all of the character motivations, for the most part, they make a lot of sense. I think that there's again amazing action, really good performances. I think Tom Holland knocks it out of the park.
Oh yeah.
Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther is phenomenal, and I love the introduction of that character. Overall, I'm going to give this movie an 8.2. So a little bit lower than you. But I think that's just because the movie does feel a little bit overstuffed at times. When I'm rewatching it, I love all the action beats. But there's some scenes, and they're needed for the movie. But like anything between Cap and Sharon, I didn't care. I don't really care for it. I don't really want it. And so even though I understand why that character's there and she helps move the plot along and all those things, no Sharon is fine with me.
Well, you need one scene.
Kiss is still really good.
The kiss is weird, but I love Falcon and
Falcon and
Winter.
Their response to the kiss is amazing, as they're both like, "Yeah, my boy's
get it." Can you move the seat up?
So that's good. Yeah. But yeah, overall, it's a really good movie. One I definitely feel like everyone should check out if you haven't before. It's really important, and you need to watch it sometime in between Avengers: Age of Ultron and Avengers: Infinity War. This is a perfect movie to watch in that timeline. But for me, I definitely recommend Captain America: Civil War. So those are our thoughts, guys. We want to know what you have to say, what you think about this. So drop that down in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Our next video coming up is going to be Doctor Strange, the Master of the Mystic Arts. So join us next time for that one. Again, that's Aaron. I'm Robert. We are Get Your Geek On.